The World Cup did not begin as a global spectacle, but as a fragile idea shaped by politics, travel limits, and uncertainty. To understand how it grew, the story must start before crowds, cameras, and global broadcasts existed. International football existed decades earlier, but there was no single event that brought nations together. Early organizers debated whether international competition was even practical on a global scale. Long-distance travel required weeks, making participation expensive and physically demanding. Financial risk shaped every early decision, from team selection to host location. Strategy. Uruguay emerged as a host because it could fund travel and stadium construction itself. Engineers raced against time to complete stadiums before teams arrived. Safety standards were minimal, reflecting the era's engineering knowledge. Only 13 teams committed to the first tournament, fewer than planners hoped. Players competed with equipment far heavier than modern standards. Weather and field quality influenced outcomes as much as tactics. In the health and pace, attendance was uncertain, and organizers feared empty seats. The first matches quietly tested whether the concept could survive. Rules, scheduling, and officiating evolved in real time. Coverage relied on print and radio, limiting global reach. Despite risks, the tournament avoided financial collapse. The world did not change overnight, but the foundation was set. Reports reached other continents weeks later, shaping future interest. Organizers debated whether the event could be repeated. Experience reduced uncertainty, but challenges remained. Distance and cost still limited who could realistically compete. International politics quietly influenced participation decisions. Consistent rules became essential for credibility. Timekeeping and scheduling posed unexpected logistical problems. What survived was not perfection, but proof of concept. With the first tournament complete, attention shifted to the next. Future editions would face larger crowds and higher expectations. As the tournament continued, expansion became unavoidable to meet growing interest. As the tournament continued, expansion became unavoidable to meet growing interest. The foundation was fragile, but it was enough to continue. More teams meant more matches, forcing changes in scheduling and format. Engineers monitored structural limits as crowds grew heavier. Entry and exit design became a safety priority. Host cities had to adapt transportation systems to match event demand. Revenue models expanded beyond ticket sales alone. Television transformed the tournament into a shared global experience. Scheduling began to consider audiences far beyond the host nation. Playing styles evolved as teams studied one another more closely. Equipment improvements subtly changed match dynamics. Rule enforcement became more standardized to maintain fairness. Each tournament raised expectations for the next. Hosting decisions increasingly reflected political considerations. Larger crowds stressed infrastructure beyond original design limits. Safety planning evolved after incidents highlighted vulnerabilities. Commercial partnerships began to influence tournament economics. Match density increased physical demands on players. Recovery science became a quiet but critical factor. Match footage allowed teams to prepare with unprecedented detail. The tournament became a shared global reference point. Logistics grew more complex with each expansion. Financial outcomes now affected entire host economies. Stadiums began shaping cities long after tournaments ended. Decisions faced increasing public and media scrutiny. Governance structures adjusted to manage scale. Efforts were made to keep competition fair despite disparities. The World Cup increasingly entered everyday life. Expectations now rivaled the physical limits of venues. The tournament stood at a turning point between tradition and scale. What followed would redefine the event's global role. By the late 20th century, standardization became essential for fairness, safety, and broadcast quality. Television revenue reshaped priorities, influencing schedules, kickoff times, and venue design. Engineers focused on maximizing capacity without compromising structural safety. Crowd flow modeling reduced bottlenecks and improved evacuation planning. Advances in turf technology improved consistency across climates. Climate control systems reduced weather-related disruptions. Data systems coordinated security, logistics, and broadcasting in real time. Host cities experienced both economic growth and long-term financial obligations. Infrastructure investments extended beyond the tournament itself. Technology supported officiating accuracy, reducing human error. Monitoring systems ensured consistency across matches. Precise scheduling became essential for global audiences. Commercial structures were designed into venues from the start. Hosts balanced global standards with local identity. Environmental impact became part of planning discussions. Fewer tournaments experimented with sustainable energy solutions. The event now unfolded simultaneously across continents. During matches, daily routines briefly paused. Organizational influence expanded alongside the tournament. Decisions now carried global financial and cultural consequences. Despite change, the tournament retained its original purpose. Scale introduced challenges that never fully disappeared. Each edition was expected to surpass the last. Not all investments produced equal long-term returns. Questions about sustainability and scale remain open. What persists most is collective memory. At its core, the game itself remains unchanged. For a moment, the scale fades, leaving only the field. The World Cup reflects the world that builds it. Its history is not hidden, but layered, shaped by choices made over time.